Hi guys, my name is Carissa. This is the FatGirlFlow channel. Yes, it still exists. It has been a while since I made a video, so I thought I would do the worst possible thing imaginable and ask on Instagram if you'd like to make assumptions about me, and I can tell you if they're true or false. First of all, ouch. Second, not ouch, and a lot of you actually know me very, very well, so these were the majority of these were really fun and nice to read. Also very interesting. It's very interesting some of the things that y'all think about me or about my relationship or about how I make money and stuff, and I am surprised sometimes, but then I realize that like maybe I don't talk on the internet as much as I think I do. I feel like I talk too much on the internet and maybe I don't. So we are going to answer some assumptions. Some of these are lighthearted, some of them are a little bit deeper, some of them are a little sexy, some of them are just gossipy, so this should be fun. I am wearing makeup in this video because I thought that it would just be like a fun thing for me to do since I haven't put makeup on in forever, but I think I'm going to not wear makeup in videos because I hate it, and I think that I have been like kind of holding myself back from making videos because I've been thinking that I have to get completely ready for them and that I have to be like camera ready every time I make a video, but maybe I'll just be myself and see how that goes because that feels more sustainable. We'll start with some lighthearted ones. The first one is that I have a list of pet peeves that I low-key love to complain about. I feel like I don't have that many pet peeves. I am sure I'm wrong. I'm certain I'm wrong. I feel like I also don't complain about them very often. I have a general pet peeve of anyone saying that someone else should do something. I'm just like you can offer advice. It's like a maybe you can, have you thought about, there are so many ways to offer advice, and being like you should just do this is like, it feels so dismissive to me, and that's a very ridiculous pet peeve. The next one is that I'm involved in the BDSM community. I don't think so. I'm not knowingly involved. I'm not sure though. I guess I would need information on what that community looks like. I don't think I'm in it. The next one is that I think they meant that the assumption is that I was never friends with Anna of Glitter and Lasers. That's correct. We have never been friends. The next assumption is that I am a bit impulsive. I think that this is very true of who I am, and also that it's a thing that I work mildly hard at curbing. I think I had a lot more impulsive moments when I was younger, and I've been working on those for a long time. I actually think I've almost gone like the other way because of how much I've had to think about like those impulses and how they've affected my life. Now I have a tendency to like get very still when I'm making a decision and be like, oh God, I can't make the decision. So yes, I think that by nature I am impulsive, but then I overthink it and I get like frozen. This assumption is that I do not smoke cannabis, but I support legalization. That's correct. A lot of people are surprised to hear that I am sober. I don't drink or smoke. Alcoholism's in my family, so when I was younger, I decided that I would quit drinking. It's not like a hard and fast rule. I will have a sip here and there, but I really don't feel like I need alcohol or cannabis or any drugs to be fucking batshit. So I just like, I leave them alone. I don't partake because already quite wild. This assumption is that I have a love-hate relationship with the internet, but I stay on it to be an example. Half true, half false. I definitely have a love-hate thing with the internet, but not because I don't enjoy social media. I think that social media is really cool. It's an amazing way to connect. The only reason that I have like a love-hate thing with it is because for my job I can't really turn it off, and I think when you can't step away from anything, it becomes something that is difficult to love all the time because we all need breaks from pretty much everything. I do not stay on the internet to be an example of anything. I stay on the internet because I really like my community that we've built, and I love the people that like I interact with, and I learn so much just being on the internet. So that is why I stay. This is one of my favorite questions that anyone asks because I think it's so fucking wild. People always asked it when I was with Nat as well, and y'all, this is just the wildest question to me because it could not be further from the truth. I guess I should tell you what it is. The assumption is that Jay makes more money than me. No, not since we've met, not now, not probably ever. One of the assumptions was that I don't have a job, which maybe I just don't talk about it on the internet enough, but I run FatGirlFlow.com, which gets hundreds of thousands of views a month. I make money from ads over on that website and from affiliate sales. I also, of course, make money on sponsorships on Instagram, which you guys don't see that often. I really only do Instagram sponsorships like 5 times a year. I also, if I'm making videos, I'll make money on YouTube videos. I have a fully thriving business that I started building about 6 years ago, and it has been fairly successful this whole time. And I think everybody thinks I'm just like sitting at home and doing nothing, but in actuality, I run a website. I'm not that busy. I started my job knowing that I didn't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore, and I really decided to do something that would give me a lot of freedom. So that is part of my job. I do have a lot of freedom and free time, and also I make more money than Jay. I made more money than my previous partner. Yeah, that's that. The next assumption is that I have always been fat. This is not true. I actually was a normal sized all through my childhood. Kids did call me fat, but kids were calling me fat in high school when I was a size 8. So I was being called fat because I was bigger than my friends, but I wasn't fat. Ever since I was, probably 10, I've really struggled with an eating disorder, and I know that when you see a fat person, you immediately think that what they're struggling with is binging. I actually have cyclically gone through major periods of restriction and then binging. Throughout my 20s, I would gain and lose 100 pounds at a time. I do know what it's like to be like on the normal or thin side. I actually think that gives me a little bit of a unique perspective in my job and when I'm talking about like body positivity and body acceptance and stuff, because I really genuinely know what it's like to have someone not judge you on your weight, and I know what it's like to gain weight. I know what it's like to lose a lot of weight, and I have seen both sides. I think it's a unique experience. I would never go back to being like my thin self because it was wildly unhealthy for me. However, I do recognize that like being thin in society is easier. It's easier because people treat you better, because your doctors pay attention to you. Not because life is easier or because you feel better. I felt like shit when I was thin, but people treated me better. So you kind of like, I don't know, you have, it's a weird place to be in when you know both sides of it, you know? The next assumption is that my parents developed poor eating habits for me. Lots of fast food and cheap stuff. This is an interesting assumption. It feels a little like there's undertones of like classism. But no, my parents actually are both pretty healthy eaters. Growing up, we had family meals all the time. We had balanced breakfasts. We had, everything my parents were taught to feed children. We always had dinner around the table. Honestly, I feel like my eating habits when I was growing up were actually pretty great. I did develop when I was around, I have been a picky eater my whole life. When I was around 10, I developed a pretty serious fear of vomiting. and it kind of rapidly spun out of control, and it made me restrict a lot of the food that I ate and stuff because I thought certain foods would make me vomit, or it was a lot. If you guys ever want a video of like, you know, my mental health shit, maybe I will make that someday. I feel like that could get wild. Anyway, I developed this fear of vomiting, and it made me an even pickier eater, so my parents had to deal with me being like the pickiest eater, and still we ate great. I still don't eat a lot of fast food. I don't really enjoy fast food. My parents didn't really feed us fast food. But also, let's back this up for a second and just say that you can't, a lot of these assumptions are fat phobic, right? But like, because this has to do with kids, it makes me especially annoyed, because kids that are fat are not necessarily just eating junk food, or they aren't like, their parents aren't doing a bad job. You know what I mean? Like, I think that everyone likes to kind of look at fat people and be like, oh, that must have started years ago. Oh, your parents must have fucked you up, or didn't teach you good eating habits, and that somewhere along the way, I just didn't learn something, and that's why I ended up fat. It's just like, so fat phobic. The next assumption is that I have lots of sex. I don't think that Jay and I have an abnormal sex life. I think that people really want us to be like, I don't know, people want us to be some, oh my god, they have sex every day and they're so in love, and like we're so in love, and also we have lives. We're just a pretty normal couple. The next assumption is you don't actually feel body positive and you want to lose weight. I just feel, when I read this, it just made me feel sad. It made me feel like, fuck, is that really an assumption people make about me? Because I could not want to not lose weight more. Wait, did I say that correctly? The part about wanting to lose weight, I'm nowhere near wanting to lose weight. On my daily to-do list, if I had 1,000 things that I think about throughout the day, losing weight would literally be at like the 180,000th thing. Like, it's so far from my brain that I don't even consider it. It's not a thing I'm interested in. It's just not something I think about, ever. I really think that my body is allowed to do whatever it wants. Like right now, it's summer. I'm getting a lot of activity. I'm outside a lot. I'm swimming a lot. If my body were to lose weight, which I wouldn't know because I don't have a scale, it would be fine. And if my body were to gain weight, it would be fine. It's just not a thing that I think about. In terms of body positivity, I am very body positive. I think that I think about it maybe in a different way than a lot of people. I think about body positivity as something that is like lifelong work. And I think about it much less about myself than I do about other people. I think that the key to body positivity is learning how to challenge all of your judgments about other people. I think it's about dismantling an entire society of fucked up shit. So I don't sit around and think about how I can think positively about myself. I think about what I can do to think differently about other people. Does that make sense? But I care very, very deeply about the body positive community, and I do not want to lose weight. The next assumption is that I have tons of clothes from videos but actually wear the same cozy outfits most days. I think that this is true. I actually don't have as many clothes as I think people would assume. I try to get clothes out of my house as often as possible. My closet is not overflowing. We have clothes in our closet. I have an appropriate amount of things to wear. I do not have 2 closets full. I just have 1 closet that I share with Jay. I donate or get rid of clothes very frequently. I just don't like clutter. And I don't like my brain to be like weighed down by thinking about how I need to organize something or anything like that. The next assumption is that I dislike people who have bariatric surgery. No, of course I don't dislike people who have weight loss surgery. I think that we all exist in a world that is really hard on fat people. And I do think that the fact that bariatric surgery even exists shows how incredibly fat phobic and terrible our medical professionals are. But I don't dislike people who get surgery. I think that everyone has to make choices for themselves. I dislike how society treats people like they're more worthy or better after getting bariatric surgery. There are a lot of celebrities who, you know, their talent and their value goes unnoticed until they've lost weight, and I fucking hate that. I hate a lot of the things that society says and does around weight loss surgery. I hate I hate that medical professionals won't listen to fat people until they have weight loss surgery. I hate a lot of the stuff around weight loss surgery, but I never hate the person getting weight loss surgery, because they just have to do what's right for them. And honestly, living in this world as a fat person is not super easy. I mean, like we've talked about, people are making fat phobic assumptions about you all the time. It can be harder to find a job. It can be harder to find healthcare. It can be difficult to find medical professionals. Your lack of access to many things is a hindrance to your quality of life. And if you feel like getting bariatric surgery is how you can make that quality of life easier, then I can't be mad about that. It's someone else's choice, not mine. Oh, this one's good. This assumption is that I don't have body hair, or it's super fine and light colored. I do have body hair, mostly on my chin. This area of my face has so much hair that I have to tend to. I have armpit hair right now. I don't know if you can see, probably not. It is light and thin. I had a complete Brazilian laser hair removal treatment, and it didn't work. So I have some hair is what I'm saying. So I don't think I have more hair than most people. I definitely think I am on the side of having slightly less thick hair or whatever, except on my head, of course. But yeah, I do have hair, just maybe not a ton. This one is that I don't experience chronic pain and movement is easy for me. I do not experience chronic pain. I have had injuries and stuff where the pain is like, if the pain isn't like, if it's untreated, then it will get bad, but I don't have like chronic fatigue or anything like that. I do yoga 3 times a week, and I would say that movement is not easy for me a lot of the time. A lot of this is just like, I was kind of an athlete growing up. I felt very confident in my body. I felt very like, I always just did wild shit with my body, you know, like I was the first person to just like jump off of things and climb things. And I always just felt like, okay, I know this body can do anything. And as I gained weight, I really felt, I started getting like kind of scared that I didn't know my body as well. And so it's taking me a long time to get back into that kind of comfort zone with my body. And yoga has helped a lot with that. When I go to yoga regularly, I feel like significantly more confident in my abilities to move my body and stuff. But like recently I don't think I would have done this if I was not practicing yoga, but I started riding a 2-wheel bike, and that was scary. That shit scares me. I am scared to try new things for sure. And also, I have really great people, and I asked my mom and dad and Jay and my niece and nephew to come with me to see me ride my bike for the first time. And no joke, my mom was like, I will hold the back of your bike like you are a child. I will help you with this. I have incredible people in my life who are more than willing to help me try new things. My best friend has a paddleboard and a kayak, and she's always willing to if I want her to go into the middle of nowhere so nobody sees me so that I can try a paddleboard, she would be right there with me, And not only that, I think that I have worked really hard in my life to make the movement that I need to get done very accessible to me. I really don't think that anyone should ever have to struggle. And if there are aids or tools to make your life easier, I really, really believe in using them. So I think that I have just learned to think very critically about the moves that I'm making, the movement I'm doing, and how to make it easier on me. So just finding little ways to like make movement and make things accessible for me has been very helpful, but I do not deal with chronic pain. And I think that a lot of people, when I talk about like doing and trying new things, I think that can be isolating for people who have chronic pain. And I want to help, and I want to try to like provide accessibility suggestions to people as much as possible. So if ever you think, well, that's easy for you because you aren't in pain, please tell me, because the truth is I want to hear what it is you experience and how something's hard for you. That way I can look into how to make it more accessible. Oh, there is one more question. This person assumes that my relationship with Jay isn't quite 50-50. Jay gives more. You know what? We'll just end this video with me asking Jay that. I know what my answer would be, but we'll ask them, because I think that the assumption is that Jay does a lot for me, and that like poor sweet Jay doesn't get anything out of our relationship. But I don't think Jay sees it that way. I think our relationship's pretty special, and while maybe the things that the internet sees are not 50-50, like yes, Jay does cook me dinner and stuff. Maybe those things are not 50-50, but I think most of our life is. So let's go ask them.
Do you have anything in my teeth?
Babe. Okay, maybe I will get the stain on your shirt.
Is that better?
Yeah. Okay, this assumption about me. You guys.
Look at my nasty toes in there.
I did it. Oh my gosh, I'm so thoughtful about your toes. Okay. The question someone asked. Well, someone made the assumption that our relationship is not 50-50 and that you give much more than me.
Well, that's not true.
Well,
Well, what are the parameters? That's the real question. What do they mean? Give what? You know?
Because what you giving me.
Well, I mean, I think it is 50-50. I think there's just different ways that we give.
Right, that's kind of what I said.
Yeah.
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 Am I taking advantage of you?
No.
I think the world needs to know, are you okay?
I think that our relationship is evenly balanced, and that the ways that it's balanced have changed.
Yes.
Like dramatically. Like
they change all the time though. That's relationships, right?
That's relationships. It's got to be like, what's the word? Malleable.
Oh, malleable, babe. Yeah, you're pretty smart.
I'm brilliant.
Yeah. So, I guess we're kind of 50-50. I don't. Was that a non-answer, babe?
No, that was an answer.
That was
also an explanation as to why it's more complicated than that.
It is more complicated than that, but I do think that I think people think that emotionally, Jay is taking care of me.
No.
No, I don't think that's...
You take care of me emotionally.
Yeah, I take care of Jay emotionally and do not need much emotionally. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm covering the stain on my shirt.
That's nice.
Yes, I agree with that.
So we're different. We're very different people, and the things that Jay does for me, like cook me dinner and stuff, are really special and very kind and very sweet. And the things that I do for Jay, not to out Jay, but
Go for it.
holding their hand when they cry every night.
I mean, honestly, it comes down to, let me hide this again. It comes down to the fact that traditionally female roles in relationship and women's roles in relationships have been undervalued, and therefore, like, it doesn't come to mind when people think, like, how much do you give in a relationship? They really mean income and chores. That's like all they break it down to. But there's so much more in relationships than those two things. For example, emotional labor. And that's the tea.
And I make more money.
No, and she makes a lot more money than I do.
Yeah, so there's the answer to that. That question, actually, that assumption, did I just say assumption? That assumption was something that several people messaged me. It's not something just one person thinks. They're definitely like, it must be how we portray our relationship on Instagram or whatever, but which I'm fine with. I don't really care if anyone thinks that, like, we're not even and Jay gives more. I feel fine about that.
It's weird though, right?
It's a little weird.
I think it's strange. I think it's all based in, like, gender stereotypes.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think so. But we get this question a lot, so I just thought I'd include Jay. But that is the end of this assumptions video. Thanks for hanging in there with my channel. Don't laugh. I do have some videos planned, so that's kind of exciting. And I'll see you guys next time. Until then, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.